Welcome back. Let's talk about T.J. Holmes and Amy Robach. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I know T.J. Holmes from CNN way back. Well, not too long ago, he was still on CNN, but I think he made it to Good Morning American, Good Morning Show, call it GMA 3, right? So they were both hosts on that platform, and now they are officially engaged. And you say, how? Well, just 3 years ago, about 2022 or so, they were involved in a secret affair that led to both of them losing their jobs and marriages. Yes, they were both married to different people. Yeah. They were on the show together, but then they were ousted. Shout out to the tabloids and paparazzis and them. They caught them. Okay. But recently they've revealed in the brand new podcast, I guess, that they're running, that they've been engaged for about a month. And no one noticed. People move on. 3 years is a long time ago. People moved on. People are much more forgiving than you will realize. Okay. Forgetting. More like forgetting, not forgiving. The internet does not really forgive, but so they were saying that Amy had been wearing ring. It's like me, I don't pay attention to rings, though. Personally, I don't. I know it might be a terrible habit. I just don't. I more so pay attention to what the scripture calls the fruits. I don't have to pay attention to it. The fruits reveal themselves, right? So I take the easy way out. How you act is how you act. Your way of life tells me, the way you talk tells me everything I need to know most of the time. So at that time, it caused a public outrage. Everybody was like, cheaters, work husband. It's a matter of work husband, work wife, and things like that. So now they're walking proudly into a new commitment. Now, some of us might look at this and say, foundation, this is going to be a terrible foundation. Some people might say, love built on lies, they will never last. Some of you are obsessed with Nollywood movies. I see you. Love built on lies will never last. But there are many love that were built on what you thought was truth, but didn't last. Well, like half of marriages, last time we checked, in most developed societies, are going in the ditch, right? So is it because they were built on lies? Maybe. Some people say, oh, it's because people get married for the wrong reasons. Some marry for money and some marry just for children. And then they wonder, right? We have all these different rhetorics and talking points, In the real world, the line between the villain and the victim is just who the story benefits. I hate to bust your bubble. Okay, who is the story benefiting? Now, obviously, if you're telling me a story, you will tell me the story from your perspective. I didn't say the one that favor you, just your perspective. Because oftentimes, these days people like, let me be honest too. I wasn't always innocent too. That is still a lie. Okay, that's still a lie. Well, what do you mean? I wasn't always innocent. I'm telling you that there's something else going on. It's not about your ability to tell me that you are telling me the truth or not. There's something else going on. I'll tell you one of the things that's going on. A story is being told in real time, and its story has not ended yet. Right? Unlike in Nollywood and Hollywood movies where you see the end. Even when you see to be continued, you kind of know it's the end because they closed that budget. That movie is done, right? They sowed a seed into you that they want to sow in terms of the story of the movie. There was maybe a semi-conclusive, maybe there's a sequel. At the end of the day, it's just a movie, right? But many of us just fantasize on these ideas of movies, which is why we keep getting disappointed when it comes to personal relationships. We see things from this perspective of all the things that media feed us. It's not a bad thing. I'm just shedding light on the reality, Sometimes what we call love, love gone wrong, is it's not what we're seeing. It's just our perspective of what we would like the story to look like. What does this have to do with CJ Holmes? Again, we saw what we saw in real life. We saw what we saw, right? In the media, they were cheaters, right? I said were cheaters. Doesn't mean they're always cheaters. They cheated. Okay. In fact, if they go to 12, what do you got, 12-step program, they might say, call yourself, I'm a cheater, I'm a cheater. Right? But we are fantasizing here for the most part. For some of the comments I've seen, people are fantasizing about the potential of karma in the future. How you get them is how you lose them. We're so gullible. Let me ask you a question. Is it only that we call love wrong when it makes us uncomfortable? I want you to think a little bit deeper about this one, because we're not here to gossip. We're here to learn some real life lessons, right? Is it when we feel uncomfortable that we call it wrong? Now, if you're in the situation, sorry. But is it when you feel uncomfortable that we start to call love wrong, or love is a scam, or love is not enough? Like, did we take the time to think about what we're saying when we issue out some of these talking points? Right? Sometimes it might be because it doesn't fit into your moral templates. Oh, you didn't think that morality is a template. You didn't think that morality is a standard that you were programmed with. Outside, of course, don't cheat, don't steal, don't lie. Right? Don't hurt other human beings. Okay? Don't steal another person's right to life or right to humanity, right? Outside of those basic things, I'm talking about morals, what many of us call morals, character. Gentlemen, you're always crying character. You think character is all it takes to be in a long-lasting relationship. You didn't think that your spouse might end up having a husband spouse, work spouse, I mean work wife, work husband. You didn't think that because in your heart of hearts, it's just wrong. You know what? You're right, it's wrong. But you know what people do when they don't feel right, when things feel uncomfortable? The same way you are judging, they also do the wrong thing, even you're not supposed to be judging, right? Let me end with this. Then I want to know your opinion. I want to end the segments like this. In love and war, I know you might be like, that's one of my favorite quotes. No, it's just a reality. In love and war, all is fair. I didn't say in Hollywood. I did not say in Nollywood, though. In Nollywood, the villain always die. Okay? A terrible death, hellfire. Okay? In Ishawuru movie, the villain, the evil spirits, they always die. In real life, evil spirits, they never die. Have you noticed? So it might have started all messy. Maybe it hurt people. That's a fact. There's no way they did not hurt people, children, their previous spouse, right? That's a fact. But I want you to remember that perfection was never the goal. Growth is still the goal. Okay, it's a necessarily human need, and sometimes people might hurt the people they love just to achieve that. And I'm saying that to you to pay attention. I want you to pay attention. Don't be so obsessed with karma. Okay, karma is real. Clap for yourself. I agree. But don't be obsessed with that. I want you to be more intentional than waiting for karma to hurt all the people you perceive as evil. I want you to be more intentional around social intelligence, emotional intelligence, about making sure you're paying more attention to pouring into other people. If you do that, if you feed people, they won't want to hurt you. It's the same concept of that man that keeps going into that cage to go and feed that lion. Did you ever notice that lion will never eat them up? Unless of something terribly goes wrong up here. But generally speaking, they will safely go in there, they give them the food they need, and they keep coming out, and the lion keeps looking forward to it. People don't leave marriage just because they're evil. I'm generalizing. It's true for the most part. They don't just do that. They're doing that because there's a void that needs to be filled. Sometimes they hurt the people they love the most. So what can you do with that? Pour into yourself. That's the only thing I want you to focus on. When you pour into yourself, you will be able to feed other people from a place of abundance. And generally speaking, they will find it very difficult to betray you. Okay, that's the lesson I want you to take away from this. Stop focusing on karma. Like, I wish them the best. I'm sorry for the people they hurt in the past. Wish them the best. Now let's focus on you. Make sure you're taking care of yourself so you can pour into other people from a place of abundance. That's your point of leverage. Everything else, like waiting for karma, it's not going to work. It's not Hollywood and Nollywood movies. Let's move on to some other trendy stories. I'll be right back. This is Ola, Man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife Lola and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.